The United States is the only high-income country where the trend is going in the wrong direction. About 42,000 people are killed every year on our streets and roads. American streets were designed for wheels, not feet, and for millions, the thought of living without a car feels impossible. Car-centric city planning in the US prioritizes vehicles over pedestrian safety and adequate public transportation, resulting in a rise in traffic-related deaths and an unhealthy reliance on cars.
100 years ago, we put pedestrians first, then at the bottom of the priority list, we put drivers. And the reason was that the pedestrians were the easiest and least expensive people to accommodate, and the drivers were the most expensive people to accommodate.
Now, cars shape the functionality of society. The invention of cars dates back to January 29, 1886, when Carl Benz invented the gas-powered automobile. This shifted lifestyles from horse-drawn carriages to the invention of the Model T by Henry Ford in 1908.
And it changed mainly because people who sold cars said, let's redesign urban America and suburban America around driving, and then people will buy cars.
The influence of zoning laws which separate homes, stores, and factories encouraged car reliance by limiting walkable, integrated communities. Car production skyrocketed after World War II with the 1956 interstate highway system, adding 45,000 miles of highways.
So when Eisenhower envisioned the interstate highway system, he was thinking more about military needs, but also just connecting cities over long distances.
But also, highways don't really relieve congestion, they increase the demand.
And when highways became more common, streetcars were put out of business as although they transported around 80% of people in communities, the 5 to 10% of people driving cars took up their tracks and altered streetcar reliability.
Car dependency is the problem. Fortunately, most of the world, you don't have to drive for everything, but in this country you do.
The average American spends 4.3 years in a car. Nearly every aspect of daily life depends on cars, and alternatives like walking, biking, or public transportation are often unsafe, inefficient, or non-existent. Change often stems from local projects and ideas that spread to the general public.
Taking an area that has a highway, like Octavia Boulevard in San Francisco, and turning it into a pedestrian-friendly boulevard, which reduces the amount of cars that can go through, but makes the area a lot safer and more inviting for walking. It's a combination of new development and also kind of retrofitting what already exists to make it more pedestrian-friendly.
Crosswalks, often just painted lines, fail to slow cars or ensure safety. Instead of relying on flags and flashing lights, we should implement elevated crosswalks and enforce policies like those in Vancouver.
They put a basket next to the crosswalk, but instead of putting flags in it, they put styrofoam bricks. And so the pedestrian would pick up a brick. The driver sees it and they're like, this person's nuts. It's attracting attention to the absurdity of telling pedestrians that you need a flag or bright clothing.
It's clear we can't just wait for change. We have to be part of the solution. While institutionalized change takes time, there are steps that you can take right now to make a difference. Advocate for walkable cities. Contact your local representatives and push for zoning reforms, bike lanes, and pedestrian-friendly streets. Go to a city council meeting and speak up for changes you'd like to see. Support local initiatives such as the Silicon Valley Bicycle Coalition that advocates for more pedestrian and biking access. Volunteer with Paul Denise and his program to protect and ensure the safety of bikes at the local Stanford football game.
If they have to redo a street, they have to make access for bicycle.
Rethink your habits. Try walking, biking, or carpooling for short trips instead of driving alone.
General Motors, you have power already. But if you're people like you and me, we're powerless until we communicate and connect.
Every step we take helps pave the way towards safer, healthier, and more connected communities. Let's build cities that prioritize people over cars. The road ahead is long, but together we can ensure a brighter, walkable future.